This chart tracks the cost of a 19-kilogram commercial LPG cylinder. On May 1st, prices saw a 993 rupee jump in a single day, pushing the retail price in Delhi to 3,071 rupees. In Hyderabad, the revision reached a record 3,315 rupees, marking the highest price ever recorded for commercial LPG in India. For most families, the immediate impact is invisible. The subsidized 14.2-kilogram domestic cylinder used in home kitchens remains unchanged at roughly 900 rupees. But shielding the domestic burner creates a deceptive sense of security. Because while the price of cooking at home is frozen, the cost of the energy used to produce almost everything else has surged. Commercial LPG is the primary energy source for India's vast network of street vendors, small bakeries, and cloud kitchens. It powers the stalls that provide daily meals to millions of workers and students. That dependency extends into heavy industry. Small manufacturing units rely on welding and hardware production. Even the clothing sector is exposed. Fabric dyeing, steam pressing, and garment finishing units use commercial gas as a critical heating fuel, and they operate on margins that leave little room for shifting energy costs. Because this gas is a foundational input, the 993 rupee hike eventually surfaces in the price of everyday goods and services, passed down through the supply chain to the consumer. This domestic price spike began with geopolitical conflict in West Asia. Unrest is currently disrupting the energy flows moving through critical trade corridors. This pie chart shows India's vulnerability to these disruptions. The nation relies on imports for 62% of its total LPG requirements, with most of that supply originating from producers in the Gulf. As global benchmarks rose, domestic oil companies absorbed the cost increases for households. This concentrated the entire financial burden onto the commercial sector. To manage the resulting shortage, the government enforced a 20% cap on monthly commercial LPG supply, effectively reducing availability for businesses by 80%. The government's priority is maintaining the supply to over 33 crore households. But by rationing gas to protect the domestic consumer, they have created a survival crisis for the businesses that drive the informal economy. In a typical commercial kitchen, fuel accounts for about 10%. Those price increases are now reaching the consumer. Industry leaders expect menu prices to rise by 10 to 15% nationwide as establishments move to protect their operations. That translates to a 1,000 rupee meal jumping to 1,300 rupees, while the cost of a simple cup of tea at a roadside stall is being revised upward across major cities. This shift is difficult for the millions of migrant workers who rely on affordable street food because they lack the facilities to cook at home. As legitimate supplies are capped and prices rise, the risk of black market activity grows. Authorities are already monitoring for the illegal diversion of subsidized domestic cylinders by businesses desperate to stay open. While the policy successfully keeps home gas affordable, it forces the informal sector into a precarious position, destabilizing the network of small vendors that millions depend on for their daily needs. In response, larger businesses are attempting to transition toward Pike's natural gas, or PNG, which offers more consistent pricing and a steady supply through pipelines. However, PNG infrastructure is limited to urban clusters. It remains inaccessible for the roadside dabas and mobile vendors who are most vulnerable to these price shocks. This is driving a forced exploration of alternatives, including electrification and commercial solar cooking systems, as businesses look for ways to disconnect from the volatility of imported gas. The frozen price of your home cylinder is only one part of the story. The commercial LPG surge has changed the cost of living the moment you leave your house. Tell us how these price changes are affecting your local eateries in the comments, and subscribe for more in-depth reporting on the energy shifts changing our economy.